Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a lesson on Pythagoras' theorem. So I'm going to get started. It's 10:55, so let's just get started. Okay, so this is a revision lesson. You would have done this in year 7 and year 8 and year 9. And I'll try and take it slow just in case you didn't understand or you've forgotten, which is very common actually. Okay, so Pythagoras' theorem. Pythagoras' theorem tells us the relationship between the three sides in a triangle of a right angle triangle. So if you have a right angle triangle, notice you have a right angle triangle, it must be a right angle triangle, then it tells us the relationship between the sides of this triangle. And the hypotenuse squared is equal to short side 1 squared plus short side 2 squared. And we'll have a look at each of these in a second. So hypotenuse, short side 1, short side 2, what do we mean? Well, the first thing you need to understand is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle. So we've identified the right angle here. The hypotenuse is going to be opposite. It's going to be on the other side. I'm going to label that as H for hypotenuse. And the short side 1 and the short side 2 are going to be the other two sides. So I can label these as shorts S1 and S2. Okay, so hypotenuse is opposite the right angle and the other two sides don't really matter. And to use Pythagoras' theorem, what I might do is to shorten this, I'll say c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Okay, and c is going to be my hypotenuse. It's really important that you remember this because I see a lot of students label the wrong sides. That might label this as one of the shorter sides, and you'll get the question wrong. Okay, you need to make sure that it is hypotenuse squared equals to, and then you have short side squared plus short side squared. So c has to be by itself. C is the hypotenuse squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Doesn't matter which one you call a, which one you call b. Doesn't matter. So over here, the hypotenuse opposite the right angle. So I'm going to label that c. And the other two, it doesn't really matter. I can call this A and B, or it could be the other way around. This could be A and that could be B. It wouldn't matter. Once again, right angle, opposite the right angle is C, and the other two don't matter. I call this B and A this time. Why not? Doesn't matter. Doesn't make a difference. And so the relationship between these sides would be C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Okay, so let's have a look at a worked example. Find the length of the hypotenuse in this triangle, correct to 1 decimal place. The hypotenuse is this because we have the right angle here, and opposite the right angle, we have that. So c squared is going to equal to the sum of the other two sides squared. So the shorter side over here is 2 and 5. Now I'll write 2 first because why not? Doesn't matter. I'll write 2 squared plus, and now I'm going to write this side squared, so 5 squared. And now I'm just going to solve this. So c squared is equal to, well, 2 squared is 4, and then 5 squared is 25. And so c squared is equal to 4 plus 25, which is 29. Now, I need to know what c is, but right now I've got c squared. To undo the c squared, to have c by itself, I'm going to do the opposite operation of square. The opposite, for example, the opposite operation of multiply is divide. The opposite operation of plus is minus. The opposite operation of square is square root. So I'm going to square root both sides. So I'll put it in a red pen. I'm going to take the square root of the left-hand side and the square root of the right-hand side. And so I will have c equals to, the square root and the square will cancel out, and then I have square root 29 as my answer. square root 29. And I can put that on a calculator, and I'll do square root 29 equals capture screen. And I can paste in my output, my calculator's output. Square root 29 is equal to 5.3, whatever. So I write C is equal to approximately 5.39 to 2 decimal places. It says to correct to 1 decimal place. All right, sorry, my bad. So 5.4. So I wasn't paying attention, my mistake. Add 5.4 is the answer here. 5.4. I'm recording this, so I'll put it up on YouTube in case you want to watch it again and to look at the steps over again. Hopefully it'll help. So that's pretty much 8A covered. Now 8B is very similar. There'll be one slight difference. So I guess let's have a look at a worked example for 8B. Now, it's still Pythagoras' theorem. So the first thing I need to do, identify the right angle and the side opposite the right angle, 16.8. Now I'm trying to find M. So I'm going to start off by, you always start off by writing this. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Now I want to make the appropriate substitutions. What's the hypotenuse? 16.8 squared. So I'll write 16.8 squared is equal to, now it's going to be the short side and the short side. It doesn't matter which one you do which one you write first. So I'm going to write, you know what, I'll write 12.4 first. Why not? Doesn't matter. I feel like it, so I'm going to do it. Plus, and this is M, so M squared. Now I need to solve this. In order to solve this, I need to have M by itself on one side. And to get M by itself, I'll need to get rid of, or I'll need to do something about this. And so what I'll do for starters is I'll calculate what the squares are. So what's 16.8 squared? So I'll pull out my calculator. 16.8 squared is 282.24. 282.24. Double check. Yep, is equal to, and then what's 12.4 squared? 12.4 squared is equal to 153.76. 153.76 plus M squared. Okay, now I want M to be by itself, so I'm going to get rid of 153.76. I'm going to subtract 153.76 on both sides. So I'll do minus 153.76 on the right. If you do it on the right, you got to do it on the left. So minus 153.76 on the left as well. And pull out my trusty calculator again. You get 282.24 minus 153.76, and my answer is here. So I'll get 128 here. 128.48 is equal to, and that's canceled out because I subtracted it, and you'll have M squared. Then as before, you want M, you don't want M squared. So to undo the squared, you square root both sides. So I'm going to square root here, I'm going to square root there. So on the right hand side, you'll have M is equal to, on the left hand side, you'll have square root of 128.48. And does it say it to 1 decimal place? It does say it to 1 decimal place. So I'll put in my calculator, 128.48. And so my answer is going to be 11.3, roughly. So hopefully that made sense. I'm more than happy to give you more worked examples if you need. I don't want to make the video too long, so I'm going to stop the video right now. I'll stop the recording so I can put it up on YouTube. And then if you have any questions, you can ask me then. So I'll stop recording now. And best of luck. By the way, the people watching on YouTube, the homework for today is 8A, half of 5 and 6, all of 8 to 11. And then tomorrow, period 3, we will do 8B, half of 4 and 5, all of 7 to 9. So for today, what you need to submit, that's what you need to submit. Exercise 8A, half of 5 and 6, all of questions 8 to 11. So best of luck. and ask me for help on Slack if you need.